Well, the Rose Festival continues this weekend with one of its biggest events. Of course, we're talking about the Grand Floral Parade.
That is the granddaddy of them all. Drew Carney is in the float barn this morning for a sneak peek at some of what you'll see. Hey, Drew.
Hey there, Brenda and Christine. That's right. This is a live look this morning at one of the floats that will be featured in this year's Grand Floral Parade. The float barn, as you described it, has bounced around town over the years. This present facility is in Northeast Portland, and right now I'm going to introduce the woman behind the operation, so to speak. She's the manager of this float production facility in Northeast Portland, Wasita. We have lots of floats to check out this morning, but I am curious because there appears to be a headless creature on some sort of bench or chair here. Whose float is this, and what the heck is the theme?
This is Alaska Airlines, and they are a moose. This will be a moose relaxing on the beach. He just came back from a flight, and he is on vacation.
So as you describe that, you're really asking people to use their imaginations to see the finished product, because there is clearly still work to be done. But man, parade day is on Saturday, so the countdown is on. How many volunteers would you say are really needed to make sure that you can pull off a parade like this in the way you like to pull it off?
We like about 100 volunteers a day,
100
or
a day?
more. Yeah, and they can come down for an hour. They can come down all day. They can come down, whatever time they can give. It just helps get the float more parade ready.
Well, if you don't have that imagination working yet on this Wednesday morning, here's a look at what this float will look like when it's all said and done. The Alaska Airlines float with the vacationing moose gang. We will have more from inside the production facility here in Northeast Portland coming up a little bit later this hour.
The transformation is absolutely stunning. Drew, good morning again.
Good morning, Brenda. Good morning, Christine. This is a look at the Care Oregon float that will be a part of Saturday's Grand Floral Parade. Care Oregon is a nonprofit here in the state of Oregon that helps provide health insurance coverage for low-income families. So we'll have more information on their float in a second, but let's talk about the parade for starters. It is Saturday. It starts at 10 o'clock out there by Memorial Coliseum on the east side of the city. They will take a 2-hour, 2-mile march through the east side only, wrapping up on Saturday. And if you can't check out the floats during the parade itself, they will be on display the rest of the day Saturday and all day Sunday down along the waterfront at City Fair. So that's pretty cool. Here we are again live this morning inside what is known as the float barn. It is the float production facility. I have the manager of the facility with me this morning, Wasita Simonson. Wasita, what's really interesting is the fact that, and I don't know if you noticed this just by looking from afar, but once we push in a little closer, the materials used are all organic, at least for the decorating parts. For example, you on these blueberries, Eric? Let's talk about what was behind these blueberries.
So the blueberries are covered in dyed blue coconut.
Dyed blue coconut to make the blueberries.
To make blue blueberries. And then below that you have parsley that has been glued on, just dried parsley.
And then we go back above. I believe this is some sort of giant peach that is starting to take shape here inside the facility. What's this made with?
This is covered with raspberry seed.
It is a requirement, correct, for all the floats to at least be decorated with all organic materials?
Yes.
All right, so we can continue the show and tell right now behind Wasita. So behind Wasita this morning, we've got a bee. This is a non-stinging bee. It seems very, don't let it attack you, Wasita. You come over, it's safer over here with me. Let's talk about the head of the bee.
So the head of the bee is covered in a nice shiny seed called amaranthus that turns into a flower. And then there's been hand-carded cotton that has been dyed yellow and black on the bee. And then the wings are covered with blue cornmeal powder.
I mean, obviously, everything's still under production, so to speak.
Yes.
And you guys wouldn't believe, I mean, we actually spent several minutes just taking this bee and pulling it up from about 15 feet away to this spot because it's all delicate. I mean, you don't want to ruin the work that's already been done.
Correct.
And it's work that's been done by a lot of volunteers. So let's talk about that aspect of it. Everyone will enjoy the parade itself from 10 a.m. until noon on Saturdays. It rolls through the streets. But man, the work that goes into it ahead of time, we're talking about hours at the very least.
Yes.
We're talking about dozens, if not hundreds of volunteers.
Yes.
Is it too late to volunteer? And even if we're talking about looking ahead to next year, how can people become a part of this operation?
It's not too late to volunteer. You can log on to rosefestival.org and sign up via the website and just come on down. And if you're interested in volunteering for even next year, literally after the parade is over, you can start signing up for next year.
Again, she is Wasita, the manager out here at the float production facility. That is her bee. Say good morning again, gang, to the bee that will be a part of this year's Grand Floral Parade on Saturday. We'll have more coming up in the 6 o'clock hour. Back to you for now. Yes, I actually hurt myself between that little shot and this one, Brenda. Do you think you can handle the sight of blood at this hour of the morning, or would you rather not see? I pinched my finger a little bit. I think it was on a staple, maybe a nail. If you're wondering, if you're wondering if it hurts, absolutely it hurts. There's a lot of pain right now. There's pain coursing throughout all of my body.
Oh my gosh.
But I will push through the pain. I will push through the pain so that I can continue to do what I do, and that's broadcast. So here we go this morning, broadcasting live from the production facility of the Rose Festival Parade Floats. And yes, we have Wasita back. Wasita Simonson is the manager at the production facility here. She's a great manager. In fact, she said, Drew, I'll get you a Band-Aid. And I said, you know what? I want to play this up a little bit. Wasita, this is the Fred Meyer float. I'm blocking Fred Bear a bit now. I'll get my big head out of its way so you can see his big head. Can you talk about the Fred Meyer? I feel like they've had a float in the parade every year since I've lived here, since the year 2000. What is the theme behind this year's Fred Meyer float?
This year's Fred Meyer float is Fred Bear sitting in his hot tub in the garden. There'll be a variety of fresh flowers on the deck here, and there'll be more fresh behind him, and he'll, relaxing in the hot tub.
Can I show something real quick, Eric? Because you're talking about that and I couldn't picture it, but then you handed me this, Wasita, and I'll show it to Eric. Hopefully, Eric, you can see that okay. That is what the float will look like, a rendering of the finished float featuring Fred Bear in the hot tub. What's pretty cool, we talked about this earlier this morning, all the materials that are used to decorate these floats, they're organic materials, including what's on Fred Bear's head to make him look like that furry teddy bear. So what is that material exactly?
This is coconut palm fiber that you find sometimes like at Fred Meyer's in the pots. And we cut it up, we make it into little patties, and then we put it on the bear.
Okay, and now I must have been thrown off by my injury. Alex Gray is our producer behind the scenes. Alex, have I mentioned the parade details yet? Because if I haven't, I'll do that right now. We've got that information we can throw up on the screen. It is Saturday. Grand Floral Parade Day is this Saturday. They're going to do it from 10 a.m. until noon. So it's a 2-hour run covering a 2-mile stretch on the east side only. And if you can't make it to the parade itself, you can still see the floats at City Fair, downtown along the waterfront, the rest of the day Saturday and all day Sunday. Before we go here this morning, though, Wasita, I do want to bring up the fact that volunteers really drive the operation here.
Yes, they do.
One thing that's important to know, it is not too late to volunteer to be a decorator for this year's Grand Floral Parade. You were saying it's super easy. Can you explain just how easy it is?
Yes, it is very easy. You can go to the Rose Festival website and you can sign up at rosefestival.org. You can also just show up to the float decorating barn at 6136 Northeast 87th Avenue and just come on down and decorate. There's something for everyone.
So if you're a creative type like Wasita, of course, you are welcome. And even if you're a non-creative type like myself, there's a place for you too. Creative types will guide you along the way so that you too can be a float decorator. That is it for now. Brenda, Christine, Rodney, I send it back to you.
What? Wait, what is that? I don't even know. It looks like a tortilla of some sort.
Can you repeat for me the materials?
Coconut palm fiber.
Coconut palm fiber. Now resting on my head, Christine.
Got it.
You
okay.
wear it well.